Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar, and today we'll be talking about the May jobs report number, Elon Musk's super bad feeling, and the Robotaxi service in San Francisco. But before we begin, as a reminder, this is a financial education presentation and should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. We received a really positive jobs number this morning. What does that mean for the economy and the markets?
Well, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Allison. Day 5 of the investing conference I'm at. Heard from several legendary names, Rick Edelman, Nouriel Roubini, Robert Schiller. Even had a celebrity appearance yesterday for Eli and Archie Manning. Michael Kitces is here, so just a great week. A lot of learning on how to better serve your clients, how to better invest, and how to better grow your business. So really good stuff here. But always, as always, when you're on the road, it's good to be headed back home later today. So pretty excited about that. All right, the May jobs report. Well, first of all, let's get over to the right page. So payrolls rose 390,000 in May, better than expected as companies keep hiring. So, overall, when people keep talking about recession, and maybe we are in a recession already, and we just don't know it, of course, because it's a lagging indicator with 2 consecutive negative GDPs. However, one thing you have to like about this economy is people are hiring, right? So there's almost, less than 5% unemployment. So that's kind of considered full employment, if you will. So it's really kind of hard for an economy to struggle when everyone is working. So we've been talking about some interesting things here, and we'll have another technology thing towards the end of the show this morning. But when you have everybody working out there, and then you have technology being able to do more jobs, freeing more people up to do other things, you really do have a robust economy at that point. So that's where overall, if we are in a recession, that's fine. I mean, these things kind of happen when you have a huge inflation run up and you have to do some quantitative tightening, if you will, to kind of get things under control. Sure, if you trip into a recession, that's fine. I think if anything, I just answered a question this morning. I think it'll be a mild recession, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months, and then we're back going higher. Now that's the economy. Obviously, the market gets out in front of that. The market's priced in a lot of gloom and doom already. And then, yesterday you heard Jamie Dimon talk about the brace for the economic storm or economic hurricane, if you will, and the market kind of laughed that off. So today we're down. We shall see how things go. Last Friday was a pretty big up day, so we'll see how today turns out.
Next, Elon Musk stated yesterday that he feels super bad about the economy. Does that set the market up for another sell-off?
Well, like I just mentioned, Jamie Dimon coming on and saying the brace for the economic hurricane, then one day later you have either the richest man in the world or number 2, depending on the latest accounting. But when you have Elon Musk, who's doing everything he can, if you will, to save society, right, and save the planet and make us come up with other traffic solutions and being able to operate machinery with our brains through Neuralink. I mean, there's a lot of initiatives that he has that is really changing the world. So for him to come out and say he feels super bad, which again isn't the biggest descriptor out there, but it's not good for sure, about the economy and these cutting jobs at Tesla. I don't know if Tesla's need to cut jobs or not is directly related one for one with the overall economy. They may just need to cut jobs. He might be using that as a little bit of an excuse, not trying to put words in his mouth there. But certainly there's negativity in the air that the market's been selling off for months now, even though we had a nice big green day yesterday. I think the overwhelming narrative is negative. So, to Elon, I say, don't give up on us. The one guy trying is everything to change the world. It's like, don't leave us, Elon, the sort of thing. So we shall see. Yeah, he also had that tweet about if you work for Tesla, you're going to come back and work in, at least 40 hours a week. in the office. And he goes, if you don't want to do that, we're going to assume you've resigned. And if you don't want to do that, you can pretend to work somewhere else. So a little bit of a jaded view about people working, at distributed locations. I don't really share that. I will say I used to. If I couldn't see you doing something, obviously you're not doing anything. I've matured well past that, but I think people can do just fine and actually be more productive if left alone, right? To get your task lists and go off and get it done. So we'll see how this plays out today. I do think that's why the futures are in the red, is because Elon Musk made this comment, and he's of course got such a huge following that if Elon Musk thinks it's bad, it must really be bad.
Last, Cruise received authorities to operate their driverless robotaxis in San Francisco. Does this pave the way for companies like Tesla and Apple to get into this specific business?
Well, that's a great question. Honestly, I had not heard of Cruise, and General Motors and their initiative here in San Francisco until I read this article. I knew this stuff was kind of getting some legs, if you will, around the world somewhere. But certainly that's pretty exciting. So you have robo-taxis that are now going to be authorized to operate in a major city. So, you think, I think at least of the, the flying bird or whatever they are, the little scooters that are running around laying everywhere. Well, is the future, are we going to have, robo-taxis sitting around all over the place, and you summon one with your phone and it takes you from A to B, and then you're done, just like Uber, except without a driver, right? Conceptually, that makes sense. I think there's a lot of things that might stand in the way of that. But over time, I think that's the way we're going to go. And if that, if these cars are smaller, and, which you would have to think they would be, right, instead of a full-size car. And if you think that, if it helps reduce the total number of vehicles that are needed downtown in a big city, I think there's overall a net win here. Lots of hurdles, but not insurmountable, if you will. So the question that you asked, though, is, does this green light Tesla and Apple? Well, Apple hired a bunch of engineers several years ago, or at least a couple of years ago, to work on the iCar, right? And we really haven't heard much about it. So either they've completely abandoned it, or it's ready to roll out tomorrow, right? Because that's kind of how Apple does things. They run in a very closed loop environment. So if you're working on something, you don't really get to tell anybody. So we don't really know about Apple, but certainly from a Tesla perspective, a little more open about what they're doing. Mass production of several of their vehicles now. So I do think with the, Tesla has I'm blanking on the exact name of it, the driverless, it's got a name, FDL, or I want to say it's FDL. We'll see if it can full self-driving, FSD. That's what it is. Full self-driving beta program that's out there where you can, but the driver's got to be there and monitor the system. So I think it's coming. I think that Tesla probably won't be able to react as fast as some of these smaller companies that are dedicated 100% to this. But I do think that there's going to be room for that. If you look at Tesla's stock has been, to the moon and back. For who knows why, a lot of hopium, if you will, there, as far as what's going on with the stock and changing the world and things. But now the stock has kind of come back down to a reasonable valuation, or reasonable overvaluation still. I think if Tesla did get the contract for, say Los Angeles or New York City, I think then you would see, much like Uber did, where they propagated throughout several cities, is that once Tesla locks down a big contract, I think you would see it potentially even worldwide. So can Cruise do that? Probably not, but Tesla could, and certainly Apple could take a concept that somebody else proves and then make it happen worldwide. So kind of excited about what's going on in the space. I'm still kind of the age where I don't really trust the driverless car thing, but I'll come around. Likely, and Alice and I were kind of joking earlier there. We were at Flick's Brew House the other day for the Top Gun event that some of you were at, obviously. And yeah, there's a little, the little robo food carrier, in the hallway kind of thing with a little flag on it, and kind of chuckled. And then of course, Allison was talking about being downtown and seeing a food truck, same sort of thing. Little thing, minding its own business, delivering some food to folks. So I don't know. I think it's coming. I'm kind of excited about the idea, and I certainly think that a bigger company like Tesla or Apple could take this and really run with it, versus just kind of a side program for General Motors.
Thank you everyone for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar. We'll see you back here Monday.